Hey everyone. Well, it's been a while since I posted, and this month has been pretty unique in terms of what's been happening in my life, and it's kind of put everything that I've been working on the blog kind of on hold, especially proceeding with the plans and dietary protocols that I had planned for myself. So, a lot of you that read the blog are people that I know, and so you've kind of known what's going on in terms of the emotional stuff that's been going on in my life with losing a very, very dear friend of mine. Some of you don't know that I actually got a virus as well. I got an adult version of a childhood virus called fifth disease, which is called the fifth disease because it's not chickenpox, measles, mumps, or rubella. So they basically call it fifth disease. And with my daughter Anna, it came as a rash and went within 3 days. There was no fever, no anything. She basically got the quickest, easiest version of it. And I got it, and it hit my muscles and my skeletal system. And they say that it can linger from anywhere to 2 to however many weeks, and I think I'm on about week 6 or 7, and it's kind of starting to clear. But it's pretty interesting because it hit me at the same time that I was going through receiving the news of the loss of my friend. So I can definitely see how stress lowers immunity and led me to be susceptible to this because I usually don't catch anything that's going around. So, it has been a struggle, to say the least, to try to stick to a dietary protocol. Needless to say that I did successfully do the liquid cleanse that I had planned for myself for 10 days, as you read in week 1, and I took the parasite supplements. I also did some rectal ozone therapy as prescribed by my naturopath, which was like a very interesting procedure, to say the least, but I could do it by myself in the comfort of my own home, so that was good. And in terms of the physical kind of reflecting what the emotional is going through, I can say I definitely experienced that this week. There was I'm sorry if this is TMI, but there was a lot of weird shit coming out of me with the combination of the Parasite formula and the liquid only diet that I was taking in, which was highly nutritious because I was doing broth as well as nut milks and fresh veggie juices and probiotics. And with the enemas and the rectal ozone, there was a lot of stuff that I have never, ever, ever seen come out of my body before, which you don't really expect because you think that what's coming out of your body is what's coming out of your body. But I tell you, when you do a deep clean, there is some interesting stuff. And you know what? I gotta say, it brought up a little shit in my life too, and it made me want to clean the crap out of my house and address a lot of issues that I haven't talked about and blah blah blah. But anyways, it's very interesting how the inner reflects the outer, and you know, naturally I lost weight as I was releasing, and I allowed myself to grieve properly in terms of trying to shut it down and repress for the first bit, and then I found that I hit a wall. And I kind of let Easter and the protocol of eating chocolate interfere with my main goal for this month-long plan. And I gotta say, once again, I just fell off. And all my progress and all my intentions and everything that I kind of had going just went psh. And it led me to the inner voice of, look how well you're doing, look what's coming out of you, obviously you're healing, obviously you've been going through a lot. Obviously, you need to eat this. Obviously, you have to drink that. Obviously, it's going to be okay. So I have really been in a very interesting, I don't want to call it a battle, but I want to call it a state of observation about the different voices that come into play when I'm trying out these different diets. And I gotta say, it's so much more emotionally driven than I had anticipated. Um, Dietary protocols are not black and white, and they have so much to do with the emotions and the past behaviors that are driving the diet, and guilt that's associated when you consume certain foods you know you should not be having because they do not serve you health-wise. And so I have been in a really interesting state of observation over the past week when I reach towards foods and drinks that I know are not really going to jive with me at this time, but I make it okay. And it's not that it's wrong or it's right or it's good or it's bad. It's just, I'm realizing it's just kind of is what it is right now. And maybe when I try the next one, it'll be different. And maybe I won't try a next one. I don't really know if this is something of us, if it's something that's serving me right now to be kind of trying all these regimes. Until I get a little bit more back into balance with the other aspects of my life, including movement. That was another thing I realized when I had this virus, was that, I was grieving, I was lying around a lot, I was in so much pain because apparently it mimics arthritis, and I wasn't able to move my body, and it really, really just totally plunged me into a low, low, low place. And as soon as I started moving my body again, went back to my first yoga class, I was like, okay, I'm a different human being now. So I am seeing how diet is a large part of, one's lifestyle, but if you're not moving your body, it's kind of like, obviously it's not pointless what you eat and what you don't eat, but you have to move your body, and you have to move your body in a way that serves you, and that isn't like a method of moving to make up for all those calories that you ate or something like that. It just has to be a method of moving where you feel when you're in it, you are focused on nothing else. And that's apparently, how you're supposed to approach lots of life in terms of focusing on whatever's presenting to yourself in the moment, especially, and eating as well. When you're eating, it really helps to just enjoy the food that you're eating versus thinking, this is not on my diet, my gut is gonna hate me, I'm gonna fart for 5 hours, versus like, oh my gosh, this flavor, I haven't tasted it for so long, wow. So I know that this video is a little bit more on a tangent than my other ones, and that it's supposed to be the week 2 mark. It's been longer than 2 weeks. So the other thing I noticed is that when I kind of fell off the Parasite protocol that I was following in terms of the foods, all the foods that I gravitated towards were ones that were really high in histamines, and high and low histamine foods have come into the mainstream, I'd say, in the past few years, not that long. So with all of the other symptoms that I was having, I had a new range of symptoms with lots of mucus in my sinuses. I've been up the past 3 nights with a lot of wheezing, and my asthma has come back, and I have to take ibuprofen and inhalers to kind of get back to sleep. I'm noticing that all the foods that I've been gravitating towards since kind of falling off have been really, really high histamine foods. So if I feel like I'm ready to kind of finish off this month-long diet that I'm supposed to be following, it will still be catered towards getting rid of the parasites, because when you do the Paragon formula, you do it for 15 days, then you wait, and then you do it for 15 days again. So I think I might include a low histamine diet with the next course of the Parasite formula when I feel I'm actually ready to stick to something. When I feel like I've got that voice in my head a little bit more under control, or when I can show it a little bit more compassion instead of just wishing it would shut the up. And we'll see what happens from there. So if you're curious, stay tuned for the next week, and I'll either have done it or not, but I will keep you posted in a week from now, and then I'll do another video 2 weeks from now. And thanks for watching.